I mean, my point being, there's no
one's going to die. Yeah, no one's going to die.
Emergency that would justify such a callous move.
Yeah.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
In other workplace retaliation against organizing worker news, Starbucks is continuing its retaliation against organizing employees, this time by cutting hours for employees nationwide after firing a pro-union employee in Buffalo for not being available enough, as you will recall. It's just that not even bothering to be consistent, not even trying at this point. And now they have fired a second pro-union employee in Buffalo for being late. This employee was late because their shift was moved without warning to openings, despite the fact that they have a second job working nights at Trader Joe's, giving them almost no time to sleep. The morning that they were fired, they slept in their car in the Starbucks parking lot after finishing their shift at Trader Joe's at midnight, and they went to the Starbucks parking lot and slept before they opened. And when but to ensure that they were not late again, right? Like the previous shift or something like that, they were late. They were 20 minutes late.
Yeah, they had car trouble.
Yeah, they had car trouble. It was like 20 to 30 minutes late. I mean, it's not life-ending. It's not, 20, 30 minutes because you had car trouble. Not a big deal. It happens.
It happens to us all, especially if you're relying on wages from Starbucks.
Yeah. So the morning that they were fired, they slept in their car in the Starbucks parking lot to ensure that they were not late again. And when they walked in, they were fired. Starbucks workers have shot back against cutting the hours nationwide, which, I mean, look, if you're going to cut hours for workers, you have to accept that you're a part-time job. You're a part-time employer, and your employees are going to have second and sometimes third jobs, and you have to accommodate that.
Yeah, they want full-time availability for part-time work.
It's absurd.
And there's too many of these stupid chain places like this that do this, where they expect full-time availability for part-time work.
Yeah,
and that's ridiculous.
Starbucks workers have shot back by launching an enormous Twitter blitz with the hashtag #WhyWeOrganize, where Starbucks workers have listed a myriad of grievances from, especially the biggest one is cutting the hours while they raise prices alongside record profits. Okay, so they've got record profits, then they're raising prices, and now they're trying to cut their labor costs. I mean, it's absurd. Having to work immediately following the death of a loved one. When I was going through this hashtag, that happened like multiple times. It's like, there's that thing on TikTok where, this cartoon character says, if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot of nickels, but that's a lot of times for that to happen. Like, I mean, there was like half a dozen of these stories of people like having to work immediately following the death of like a mother or a husband or something. I'm like, my God, like, 6 times. That's like, that's not a lot of nickels, but that's a lot of workers.
Yeah, and we're talking about lattes here.
Yeah, seriously.
This isn't
like they're not.
Surgery.
Yeah, right. I mean, good grief.
And I'm not trying to say that to downplay the workers and the work that they do, but I mean, my point being, there's no
one's going to die. Yeah, no one's going to die.
Emergency that would justify such a callous move.
Yeah. Being forced to work while sick, inconsistent and unfair discipline, and lots more. You should look at that hashtag #WhyWeOrganize on Twitter. Hundreds and hundreds of Starbucks workers are tweeting with this hashtag about the conditions that they're facing at Starbucks that are forcing them to organize. Every time. I think every worker should have a union. Every worker should have a union, even if you've got the best boss in the world, even if you've got great working conditions and wages and all this. If you have zero complaints, you should still have a union because that can change tomorrow. But the fact of the matter is that most people who have good wages, who have good working conditions, who have a good relationship with their boss and with their management, they don't unionize. All of these campaigns are brought on by the boss, by and large. There's not, even though I wish that weren't the case, that is the case a lot of the time. It's that these organizing campaigns, the bosses have nobody to blame but themselves. And you can clearly see when you go through this hashtag on Twitter that is the case for Starbucks. Amid all this, workers continue to announce new unions. They are now up to 129 workplaces announced where they will be filing for a union election. And by the time that you hear this, we will probably have 3 more union Starbucks in Buffalo. The vote count in 3 more union elections in Buffalo are this week. Remember, we're pre-taping this episode on Tuesday. So yeah, we will probably have more union Starbucks in the country by the time that you hear this, amid nationwide retaliation. I mean, this isn't even just happening. The cutting back of hours isn't even just happening at union locations. It's like they're trying to punish everybody. So it's really, and I don't know why they would think that is going to harm the,
right.
It doesn't make sense it doesn't make any sense to me as a tactic, but that goes to show you that the bosses are not any better than you. They are humans, and sometimes humans do stupid things and cruel things, but also stupid things, and they don't think things through. So you just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.